Alrighty, peeps. So, we got cut off. I was warning you all that my phone was gonna die. I have a second phone, fortunately. So, I'm just gonna wait here, and hopefully, if you have any last minute questions about the math course and anything else, we can get those out of the way. And then once we get those out of the way, we're good to go. We'll see if anybody joins up, and I'm just gonna wait here, basically. Let that go on. And while I do that, I'm gonna be doing these math questions that I've been promising everybody. So, that's the game plan right here. Yay, Vic. Sorry, dude. I told you my phone was going to die. I wasn't lying. It died right on me halfway through. I got a different phone now. So thankfully, we're good. So, Vic, I'm probably going to end in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So I just want to give everybody a shot to ask some questions about this math course, about anything else before we do that. So, Vic, if you got any questions on your mind, man, just spill them now. I'll be able to answer them. There's nobody else watching. LOL. So let me know. Billy! Billy, the type of math that we're doing is, so it's everything. It goes through fractions, it goes through ratios, and in ratios we talk about total fall, which is according to the length of the pipe, how much slope you put on it and how much fall it'll have. We talk percentages. I then go into offsets, which includes 45-degree offsets, 60-degree offsets, rolling offsets, and I think there's one more in there. Then I go into geometry as well. So I try to span it all. I also do, oh man, I also talk about total force, unit pressure and height. So those are calculations as to if you put this much pressure into a pipe, how high will it bring the water? So we did that in advanced plumbing the last year I was in school. So I also go into that as well. I do questions on basic, questions about like if you have 6 vanities and you have dual vents between them, what's the distance going to be between them, if this is the length of the wall, etc. So those sorts of things. It's going to be purely on the mathematical side. Devin. Oh, okay, Devin. So what I was saying is usually when you sign up for your apprenticeship and you're officially signed into the system, I'm not good at anything but basic math like division and multiplication and stuff. I probably won't make it as an apprentice. Billy, don't worry, bro. I'm making this course exactly for people that feel uncomfortable about math. That's what this course is designed for. I go through division, multiplication, addition, subtraction of fractions and everything else. So I break it down real slow so that people can get it, because I know a lot of people are insecure about math, just like I was, just like my peers were. So Devin, what I was saying to you was this: the moment you sign up as an apprentice, they typically just send you to school the next time the available slot is there. So you don't have to go through a certain amount of hours technically. I remember when I signed up as an apprentice, within the first month of signing up as an apprentice and getting registered, I got a letter saying, "Oh no, sorry, I got a phone call saying, look, you can go to George Brown right now if you want." And I was like, dude, I'm 2 weeks on the job. I'm not ready for this. And they're like, well, look, you have a spot, so if you want it, you can take it. And I was like, no. So I actually went the next time around. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's not always according to the hours. Sometimes they'll just message you and say, look, we're ready to send you in if you're ready, sort of thing. So just wait for it, Devin. They'll typically send it to your house. Man, honestly, it's usually like a month before, a couple of months before. I remember in my third year of plumbing, I actually missed my first application, or the first letter that they sent me, because I didn't get it in time. Like, a bunch of my friends signed up, and then when I finally found the letter, I was like, oh man. So I called and I was put on the waiting list essentially. So that didn't work out. But Devin, anyways, don't worry. They'll eventually send it. Does George Brown help you get paid more? Is that why you went to school there? No, Victor, the reason why you go to George Brown is because it's part of your apprenticeship. What do you think about me joining Roto-Rooter? Oh man. So Devin, when you're in school for the first year and write the exam, and after I pass your second year apprenticeship, second year apprentice, technically that's right. technically you've passed, you're an intermediate plumber at that point. So you can say you're a second year apprentice just on your hours. You don't have to say according to the schooling. Billy, I don't know. Is Roto-Rooter just drains? Do they ever do rough-ins? I don't know about that. Because if they have plumbers on site and licensed plumbers, then there shouldn't be any reason to not join Roto-Rooter, because you could technically do an apprenticeship with them. But if they're just people that do drain work and they're not licensed plumbers, then you can't do an apprenticeship if that's what you're looking for. So, Victor, I went to George Brown because it's part of the apprenticeship. So in other words, when you have to do 3 in-class sessions in conjunction with doing your hours. So you got to do basic, intermediate, and advanced. If you don't go to George Brown or any of these other colleges that have these apprenticeship courses, you basically won't progress through your apprenticeship and you basically won't get licensed. So you need to pass these courses in order to get on and then challenge the exam for your license. That's why you have them. Billy, I think you asked me a question that I missed. Okay, no, you're good. You're good. All right. Yeah, so peeps, I'm not going to be here much longer. I'll probably do another 9 minutes, okay? So if you have any questions, shoot them up now. Let me know. Is math on the apprentice application? Billy, it depends. I've heard about union applications having questions for you. Victor, we're not sure. I don't know if they're real plumbers, to be honest. It depends on if they have licensed plumbers there. Jamsure, what's going on? Jamsure, it might be different. Hi, Christopher. It might be different according to the apprenticeship here. I know in Alberta, for example, they have a longer duration of hours. I think it's not 9,000 hours, it's 10,000 hours. And you also have to do heating as well. So it might be entirely different. I think I missed a couple of questions. Is math on the apprentice application? Billy, it might be. I know unions sometimes give out tests, and you have to pass those tests in order to get into the union, for example, in order to get the apprenticeship. But if you're talking about plumbing school, if you're doing your first year in-class session, which is basic plumbing, yes, math is going to be in basic plumbing and intermediate plumbing, and also in advanced plumbing, you're going to have some math sections. They're just not going to be as big as basic and intermediate. Unions make you take a pre-test before the interview. Is that a question, Victor, or a statement? I can't tell. Some unions, from what I understand, make you take a test in order to get into the union. So it's like really competitive to get into the union. I think Ryan had to do a test. I keep bringing up Ryan because he's a buddy of mine in a union. I think you have to take a statement. Yeah, that's right. Victor, from what I understand, I think you're right. I remember Ryan telling me he had to take a union test before getting in. Billy, I don't know what are good companies to do your apprenticeship at, to be honest, man. I think you just got to do trial and error, apply, see if they're good to you when you get there. You know, everybody has a different experience. Like, some people really like certain companies and some people don't like certain companies. So it really will depend on you. So what you should do is just sit down and start applying. And when people say, hey, what's going on? Yeah, you can work with us. Victor is saying you should probably do a union apprenticeship. Union apprenticeships, I hear, are pretty good. But like anything, when you're starting out, it's tough at the beginning. You got to meet people. It's a 5-year apprenticeship in Philly, you're saying, Vic? So you're starting to meet people. You know, you got to do a lot of the grunt work. You'll be lifting up heavy things, and you'll be moving stuff around for the journeyman or journey person or whatever. So it really depends on you. Yeah. So that's right. It's the same here. Jamsure, are there any tricks you can tell us to be faster and more efficient on the job? Jamsure, what I found out when I realized for myself is the more organized I was in my mind, the faster I became. I used to think it was an actual speed thing, which meant that I had to put the pipe into the fitting faster and whatnot. Later on, oh, Billy, yeah, you told me about this, 2021. So Jamsure, what I realized later is where I lost the most amount of time was me either chasing tools or chasing the next material or whatever, I find that the fastest that I get is when I'm meticulously organized. All my tools are set out in front of me. All my pipes and materials are set out in front of me right then and there. So what that means is there's a prep stage. And that prep stage is, okay, how am I going to put in this pipe? First thing I'm going to need is pipe cutters. The second thing I'm going to need is a tape measure. The third thing is I'm going to need glue. I got to go over there and grab that pipe, and I bring all that over. And then I do my measurement, I double check it, I cut it once, I glue it, I get it in, and that's how it is. The problem is I used to start going, okay, let's do this fast. I'd grab my pipe cutters, I'd grab the pipe, I'd cut, then I'd spend a couple of minutes looking for the fitting. And when you're looking for the fitting, you're losing time. So speed actually has a lot to do with how you organize it up here and how you organize it in front of you. And what you'll notice is the more organized you are, for some reason, you're flying through jobs, flying through them in comparison. Also, Jamsher, what I notice is it's useful to try to make it. Kenny, are you running jobs by yourself? No, it's still me and my dad right now. Can you join the union as a journeyman? Yeah, of course, Billy, you can, yeah. Every morning when I'm at the shop, I clean out the van for the journeyman without being told, and I grab what I think we need for the work and orders of the day. Yeah, Devin, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Organization is key. Jamsher, I don't remember what I was going to say to you. I'm sorry, dude. What did I say last? Hold on, let me read your question again. Oh, yeah, so the more organized you are, the faster you're going to become, and you'll be noticing you're flying through job sites like that. It's crazy. I used to think it was just doing things faster, putting the fitting in faster, soldering faster. No, man, it has everything to do with meticulously planning it. So saying, okay, I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to cut this pipe. I'm going to sweat this out. Then I'm going to clean it. And you're going to bring all the tools there in order to make sure that they're ready for you. You don't got to look for grit cloth. You don't got to look for tape and dope. Tape and dope is ready for you right there, man. And then you tape and dope it, and you're good to go, and you tighten it. You make sure it's tight. Dude, it's all about organization, Jamsher. It's all about organization. I used to not pay attention to it, but that's what it is. Is it the same for school as well? Because currently I'm in plumbing school. Jamsher, like I said, because we're going to take a very similar red seal. For those of you that don't know, peeps, the reason why we have a red seal here in Canada is because as a red seal journey person, I'm allowed to travel across the nation and work. That's the point of the red seal. They make it a universal, not universal, it's a nationwide license. I can go to Quebec and work there technically on my license. I just got to get the appropriate codes, code book correct, and stuff like that. So in other words, the red seal will be similar, I think, between you and I, but the codes are going to be different for you and I because I learned the Ontario Plumbing Code. I appreciate that, Billy. I appreciate the support because our plumbing code is different. I'll answer that in a second, Victor. As a plumber here in Ontario, I learn Ontario plumbing code. As a plumber in Quebec, you're going to learn Quebec plumbing code. And what you'll notice is that a lot of the provinces have their own code book, or they adopted the national code book. So the interesting thing is when you start out doing your apprenticeship in school, you're learning the code book according to your province, but then you write your Red Seal exam. That's the national code book. That's an entirely different code book. So that's something you got to keep in mind. And then there are some provinces that adopted the national code book, and that's the only code book they work by. So it'll be a little bit different for you and I, Jamsher. So the question by Billy. Oh, Billy was just being nice. Thanks, Billy. I appreciate that. Is it easy for new construction plumbers to get into service? Okay, Jamsher, good luck with that. Good luck with getting the code book next Monday. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Is it easy for a new construction plumber to get to service if he's never done it before? It's going to be a different... So, Victor, they're going to have the exact same skills as each other. They're just not going to have the exact same experiences as each other. So when you do new construction, you're constantly bombarded with a certain set of problems you're going to deal on that job site. When you're doing service, it's a brand new set of problems that you're going to be dealing with. So when you're doing new construction, it's not very common, from what I understand, to have to deal with leak detection. That's going to be a brand new skill set you're going to have to learn on the job. But we're both new construction and service are trained in pipes and how to install them and how to use cast iron, copper, all the different materials, including ABS, PVC, etc. So we have all the same skills. They interconnect, but there's going to be a new subset of problems you're going to be dealt with that might take you some time to get used to and figure out, sort of thing. All right, peeps, I'm going to be doing about 5 more minutes. So if you got any more questions, shoot them to me now, because I'm going to head out and do some other things. The only thing I'm worried about is math. Billy, that's why I'm getting this math course out, man. I want you guys to have a prep. Me too. Oh, you're worried about math, Jam? Sure. Well, the reason why I brought this up is because I'm doing a math course. I'm not sure if you saw that part of this video, but that's why I'm building this math course, because I know a lot of people are insecure about it. So I wanted to make sure that you had a tool going in. Now, granted, I want to remind you, I'm going to be putting this on a course, on a website where you purchase the course. This course right now is around, it's a few hours long. So, and it's taken me 8 months to compile, man. I'm telling you, it's been kicking my butt. But I take you through all the math that I went through during my apprenticeship so that you are prepping yourself for the exact math you will probably encounter when you get into school. And then, of course, if there are certain math things that you don't see on the course after you purchase it that you want to get done, you guys shoot me a message and say, look, I don't see enough of this. Any chance we can get an update on that? And I'd be more than happy to update that on that for whatever. So that's the whole purpose of this. The whole purpose is so that you have a bunch of materials going into it, so that you're seeing math you've already seen before and dealt with math that you already dealt with before through my course. So you take my course is sort of like a prep course for what you're going to get into your apprenticeship. But yeah, that's why I'm creating the course, so that everybody's ready for the math, sort of thing. I want to be able to do division and multiplication mentally. Am I already practicing algebra right now? Cost of living in Toronto is pretty high, Victor. Devin, are you talking about fractions, multiplication, division mentally, or are you talking about just regular multiplication, division? Victor, the cost of living, what's the earliest I got up in the morning? Probably around 5, Billy. Cost of living in Toronto is expensive. It's it's the hub, right? That's where everybody wants to go. Toronto's the big city, so purchasing property down there, you're looking at millions of dollars to get even small things. Both, yeah. Fraction, I don't know how to. It depends on the fraction, Devin. Like if the fraction is 15 over 16 times 12 over 13, dude, that's gonna be some serious mental math. But I hear you, man. I really want to get better at math too. That's why this was important for me to make, because as I'm teaching it, I'm also kind of refreshing it. So Victor, it's expensive out here, man. It's one of those places. And the further you move away from it, the cheaper it is. Devin, you'll have your phone. Yeah, that's right. Devin, that's one thing you got to know as well. Liam, what's going on, Liam? How long do you go to college for plumbing? You go to college 3 times. Yeah, that's why plumbers in Toronto make a lot of money. So, Liam, you go to plumbing school 3 times. You go for basic, intermediate, and advanced, and you do 8 weeks each time. So overall, 24 weeks overall. And that's if you did not go through a pre-apprenticeship program, okay? Yeah, Toronto plumbers get paid a lot because Toronto has a high cost of living. You know what's interesting? I did a video a while back on how much money do master plumbers make. And every single person, every single plumber that's messaged me from San Francisco has said they make a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah, but I was told it looks bad to have your phone on the job site. Oh, Devin, that's what you're talking about. You know what? You could also have a pad of paper and a pen. So if you have a pad of paper in your back pocket, you whip it out, you do the math calculation, and you're good to go. So that doesn't look bad. It does look bad when you have your phone on you. That's true. That's true. So what I was saying was, every time I've gotten a message from somebody from San Francisco, I don't know if it's just a bunch of people lying to me in the same way, but everybody has said that they make something crazy like $200,000 a year. And that is not plumbing company owners. These are just people working for the union or working service. And I really am curious to figure out if that's true, because what I do know about San Francisco is that they have a really expensive housing market. Yeah, Victor, that's what I'm saying. Like every time I talk to somebody from San Francisco, they're saying big things. When is the next time you're going to be like? Sorry, Jamster, ask that. Oh, live. I don't know, dude. I don't know. You think I should make this a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing? Will this be useful for you guys? Yeah, San Francisco, man. Every time I talk to them, they're making like 200K. Yes, you want to do a weekly thing. All right, Jamster, I'll see if I could do that. Yeah, Victor, exactly, man. I keep hearing that. I hear that the housing market is stupid expensive, like a couple of $1 million, and you know what I'm saying, for like nothing. So, man, I don't know, man. Toronto feels like that as well. Yeah, Devin, you want weekly? All right, guys. If peeps, if you're really interested in this, I will try to make a commitment. It might not be until the course is done though, because this course is kicking my butt. I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to get this damn thing out for you guys. It's weekly. Yeah, okay, Victor. I'll try, man. Honestly, I'll try to make it. Try to make something work for sure. But San Francisco plumbers. Yeah, I need all the information before I turn 18 in April to start applying for plumbing. Yeah, Billy, you messaged me recently, right? Yeah, you found me. Are you guys on my Instagram? Because I know Billy's on my Instagram. You guys got to get me on Instagram, because I upload videos there, and I also upload jobs as well, so that you can see what sort of things I'm doing during the week. Billy, don't worry. You got a long process ahead of you, a lot of learning. It's going to go fine. You just got to take your time. I appreciate that, Jamster. I appreciate that, man. So, Billy, don't worry, man. It's going to be a long process. Plumbing isn't one of those things, unfortunately, that you learn overnight. And even if you're strong theoretically, practically is an entirely different story. I find this very helpful asking someone else who has already been through an apprenticeship and is now Red Seal. Well, I appreciate that, Devin. If I can help, that's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, doing the practical and getting the practical is entirely different from doing the theoretical as well. So that's something you got to keep in mind. Some people are strong theoretically, not strong practically, and vice versa. Some people are wizards on the job site, but when they sit in the classroom, they're not. It's not their forte. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever get into arguments and fights with other trades on the job site? So I have a video called "Trade Bullying in the Trades." I did have a scenario, Victor, where this guy started blasting me for taking too long, and this was an electrician, right? And I think I was third or fourth year. I think somebody asked me when did I get comfortable with working, when it finally started clicking. It was around third year or fourth year that I started clicking. And in that video, I tell you that story, and this guy just lost it on me. And what's crazy is this electrician had a bunch of different rooms to work on, but for some reason, he was adamant about finishing. Hi, Mina. What's going on? For some reason, he was adamant about being inside the washroom that I'm inside. and like he was waiting for me, and I felt bad, but I had to make a correction, because when I put up, I did a shower control valve, and I put up the shower head pipe. People die here too. So again, I got to wrap this up. I'll tell you, I'll finish this story for you, and then we're out, okay? So I put the shower head up, and I realized that the shower head was not level. So I was like, okay, what I have to do is cut this pipe and then re-divert it with a couple of 90s or a couple of 45s it was, to make it level. I start cutting it, and this guy comes up to me. He goes, what the hell was the point of doing this? What are you doing? You're a clown. And he was just going off on me. And, you know, honestly, he was a much older gentleman. He was like in my dad's age, and he didn't know plumbing. He only knew electrical. And I explained it to him. I said, I have to make sure the shower head is level, or else you're going to have a shower head that's pointing down, or you have a shower head that's pointing up. That's going to be stupid. And he goes, I've been doing this for 20 years, 25 years. I've never seen anybody do this, blah, 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 blah. And he's laying me out. So, anyways, so it's happened before. And honestly, because he was so much older than I just opted to not respond to him. It was one of those circumstances where I literally was there for one day. I just got to put in the shower control valve. I got to test the drain underneath it, and that's it, and I'm out. So yeah, I didn't get into an argument with him, but he kind of gave it to me that day, and I was like, yo, screw this guy. And what's funny is that I bumped into him into job sites after that, and we don't talk to each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? So peeps, I'm gonna try to give you 5 more minutes, but I gotta go after 5 minutes. So if you have any more questions, send them out now so I can answer them. Electricians think they're always better than plumbers. I don't know. I don't know, Victor. I'm sure there's some out there for sure. I've met a couple of sweet electricians though that work with us, and like we tend to call them back because of how good they are. But this guy was not having the plumber being here, man. I'm telling you, this guy was just losing his mind on me. And he just kept going. And even though I wasn't responding to him, he just kept going. And I was like, what do you do? What do you do with somebody that much older than you? How do you explain to them what they don't understand? Because they're set in their ways and they have no, they're not changing it. You know that old saying, can't teach an old dog new tricks, man. This guy was like, he knew everything and I was the idiot on the job site. But my shower head was level. What year did your dad let you have your own van during your apprenticeship? I was around year 4, Devin. Year 4 was approximately when I did that. I started driving around all by myself. All right, we got 3 more minutes, peeps. Is business ever slow? Billy, business is slow. Yeah, man, it gets slow. It's slow right now. I got to be honest. It's been slow right now. Dad and I have been we've been going around doing a bunch of service and also checking up on things. How many houses per day? Briggs, give me 1 second. I'll tell you. I am a journeyman, Christopher. So how many houses per day? So we typically do around 3 or 4 calls a day, but lately it's been 1 or 2 a day. Sometimes we go even bigger, like five a day. So Briggs, the math that you got to refresh on, that I'm building a course on. That's the whole point of this whole thing. I was trying to show you all that I am building materials for this math course that I'm doing. What you have to refresh on is plumbing or is fractions. Make sure you know your fractions well. Multiply, divide, subtract, and add. Make sure you know how to reduce fractions. Get on that. You also have to know how to do ratios. That's something specific to plumbing because we talk about total fall. And you get certain slopes you're allowed to use in your code book. And with those slopes, you're supposed to figure out what the total fall of the pipe will be according to the length of the pipe. You also have to brush up on geometry, not so much algebra, Mina. Not so much algebra, but definitely geometry. And then we get into plumbing specific math, which is 45-degree offsets, 60-degree offsets, rolling offsets, etc. So that's all going to be in the course that I'm building right now, and that's what I wanted to let you all know. I am still working on this course. I'm trying to get it done so that you all have a resource to go into plumbing school with, and you're already sort of prepared for the majority of what's going to come your way, sort of thing. Chris, do you have a tradesman license in your neck of the woods? Because here in Texas, we have 3 stages of licensing. Yeah, Chris, I have a license here. It's called a Red Seal license. I'm a licensed plumber now, a journey person, and the next step would be a master's license, a master plumber's, yes. Yes, get that together. Briggs, you're saying that you would want the math course? That's what you're saying? Not good with fractions, Billy? Yeah, I got that. Don't worry. Got a bunch of fractions here for you peeps. So once the course comes out, yeah, Briggs, don't worry, man. I'm getting this all ready. Trust me. I'm getting it all ready for you all. And I'm also going to be taking you, once I teach the lesson, I'm also going to take you through 10 questions so that you understand the game plan I have going into the questions so that you have like the mindset prepared of how do you approach adding or subtracting fractions. You know, the very first thing is you got to find common denominators. Okay, let's do that. Let's spend time doing that. And once you do that, okay, what do you do if they're mixed fractions or mixed numbers? Do you add the numerators themselves, etc.? So I have that all broken down for you all. Trying to get that all out for you guys. My hope is as of March 1st, I'm saying it officially, March 1st, this course is going to be ready for you all to purchase. It will be for purchase because it's taken me forever to do. And that way you can give me a little bit of help with the channel, obviously, so that I can get better resources for that as well. So this is the last call for questions. Shoot them up now because I'm about to leave in the next 2 or 3 minutes, all right? So go. If you have any more, go for it. Jam sure. I've already passed my math exam in plumbing school last week. It's the same kind of math in my apprenticeship. It will be the same kind of math in your apprenticeship, I assume. If it is what I just spoke about, if it's all fractions, if it's all of that stuff, then yeah, most likely, jam sure, it'll be the same thing. But it gets a little bit more difficult and you'll get more formulas. You'll learn how to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit. You'll learn how to do offsets. You probably already had that, so check that out. Yes, Devin, I go through measure tape fractions specifically. I specifically go through that. I teach you how to go from feet to inches, inches to feet, and then after that, I also teach you how to get a decimal and then convert it back into a fraction as well. That'll be shown on your tape measure. That's another thing. So once you have your answer, I'll teach you how to take that decimal and change it into a 16th, a measurement you can find on your tape measure up to a 16th. I'll even teach you to an eighth, a fifth, or a quarter. I got that all set, not to worry. Victor, I haven't decided on how much the course is going to be honest. With the amount of content I'm sending out, it's not going to be, I haven't decided. Honestly, I haven't decided. I assume it's going to be around the $50 range, $50 to maybe $75. I assume because I think that's what makes sense for the amount of content you're getting. But again, I haven't decided yet. It's all up in the air. Last questions. Make sure you hit them up now because I'm about to head out and I think I'm going to do a workout, peeps. I got to get that beach body going. You know what I'm saying? Anything else? All right, 2 more minutes, peeps, and we're out. You get swole from plumbing? There's definitely some type of jobs, Mina, that you do get swole from plumbing. If you're doing a lot of digging and you're putting in backflow preventers or backwater valves like I did in the last vlog, definitely. There's some things that, man, they're very demanding on your body. And also there is a such thing as work fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a type of stamina you develop throughout your career. So you might not get swole and jacked, but you will definitely get kind of like that long-term stamina where you can work really long hours. Cast iron will get you swole. Yeah, Vic, I agree. And whenever you're putting up cast iron, it's heavy material, and you got to put it on your shoulder. You got to walk it around with another person by you, and if you're lifting it up and putting it on a hanger, so that sort of stuff will make you work for sure. 1 more minute, peeps. 1 more minute. Last questions. Jam sure. I learned a trick by a friend in school to measure a pipe length to cut, which is to put 90s down and measure the gap between them. Is it a good trick to use on a job or no? Jam sure. I can't visualize it right now, so I'm not sure. But if you put the 90s exactly where they're going to be sitting, like exactly where they're going to be sitting, and you measure between the two 90s, it should be a good tool, but keep in mind, it depends on the material. If you're cutting cast iron, though, because of the MJs that go around them, you have to cut them an eighth of an inch shorter so that the cast iron MJs can go on both sides. So it depends on the material as well. Can you show us your Milwaukee tools sometimes? Do you have the pack out? I don't have the pack out, Devin, but I can definitely show you the Milwaukee tools that I have, because I think a bunch of people are interested in tools for sure. All right, we got 30 seconds. Last questions. So peeps, again, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate the love and support that you've been giving the channel. If you haven't checked out my recent vlog, it's on a backwater valve. I go through what a backwater valve is and how it functions in the house. I also show you the sort of setup that you need to do in case you have a multiple dwelling, multiple families living in a unit. How was your day, Jam? Sure. It was good, man. I appreciate that. I've been trying to get this math out for you all, so it's a little bit frustrating, but I think I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel. We're almost done there. And yeah, so check out the last vlog. And I also did a video just now. Man, what's the video about? Did you guys see my last video? My last video is called, Plumbing Apprenticeship and What to Expect. What's the weather in Toronto right now? It is like -8 degrees today. It's cold. These past few days have been freezing. It went down to -30 a couple of days ago. So it ain't friendly weather, Victor. It ain't friendly. So peeps, again, thank you for the support. I'll try to do another live for you all maybe next week. Cold. That's right, Mina, cold. I'll try to do another video for you guys next week, for you peeps next week, so you can see the update on the course and how it's going, and you can ask me questions then. I'll give you a heads up on the channel when I'm going to be doing another live. I appreciate all the love and support. You're the best. Have a great weekend. We have a long weekend here in Toronto, or here in Ontario. I hope you all have a great weekend. Be well, okay? Talk to you soon, peeps. Ciao.